My name is Amy Ron, and I am a junior at Northwestern College. My major is ministry, and I have an emphasis in intercultural studies. My parents got married when they weren't Christians. They weren't believers, and then my mom became a believer, and so that put a lot of strain on my family. And so then my mom became the children's ministry director, and so I was kind of just recruited in as extra help and as leadership roles for different things that were needed, and so I got a lot of experience and a lot of opportunity. In 8th grade, that I was just in my room by myself. I wasn't at church, or I wasn't having anyone guide me in the prayer or anything. It was just the Lord met me, and I don't really know how to explain it. I was just on my bed, and He was there, and I just understood just my depravity, my sinfulness, and just my need for a Savior, and just realizing in that moment too of that the Lord is, that Jesus, what He did on the cross was my salvation, and that I could receive that. And it all just I think it was almost instantaneously figuring out all these things, of realizing too that if I would control my own life, I would never be able to receive the joy that I received in that moment, of that feeling of maintaining that joy, that peace, that presence would mean giving up everything, giving my complete life, my control, my plans, everything to the Father and to His plans for my life. I think it was that same year that I started reading stories of missionaries and learning their stories, and so I just started just having this burning, this passion of being able to go beyond the walls of our country and the borders, and see these people who didn't know the gospel, who didn't hear the gospel, and seeing the Lord work and seeing His hand. And so it was kind of something that I've always kind of wanted to do. I think I had a lot of different conflicting views of what missions was. I saw it as such a good thing, and such a powerful thing to be a part of. But then I had these different views coming in. My pastor told me that missions wasn't needed anymore, and that short term is really good and really powerful for the people that are in the country and also the people going, but that long term is kind of just a filler of money and time, but that wasn't really needed. So I think my view of missions, I think I had some I was excited about missions and missionaries, but I think I also thought that when you went, you had to live there probably for ever, and it had to be your life, and it had to always be about sacrifice, and that it was almost wrong to get married too. You should be completely sold out if you want to be a missionary, and really that it was the highest calling, I think one thing that I see as different is it is needed. I truly believe that this world is broken and it's lost. So many people don't know the gospel. So many people are walking in darkness and in confusion, and they need someone to tell. They need someone to bring the light with them, the gospel with them, and with that, take somebody who's willing to go. And so I do truly believe that it's needed. I don't think that it necessarily needs to be a full lifetime. I think we talked about an exit strategy, that you need to be equipping the locals to take your place, that you're going there to start a fire and to start a sustaining fire, but then you need to leave so that they can carry it on. I do think that there's struggles that come with it. I think a lot of it is sacrifice, that it can be scary, and there's hardship, and there's that we heard a lot of stories about missionaries' kids dying, or even just kids being frustrated with their parents, feeling like they've been neglected or lost the sense of real childhood when they had to move so much, or not have a firm foundation in their own culture, or seeing their extended family and And so there is a lot, and there's sicknesses, and there's illnesses. And so I think it was a sobering reality, too, to go on this trip and see what is. But I think in good ways, too, of noticing these missionaries are people. Like, they're not these super Christians. They're not people who, don't cry, don't mourn, don't hurt, don't get sick. Like, they do. And they push through, and they suffer, and but they're real. They're real. Like, they're still sin, and they still struggle, and they still judge at times, and they still get frustrated with the culture they're in, and yet the Lord still uses them, and the Lord still calls them to be there, and the Lord still strengthens them. I'm Amy Alexa Ron, and I am tearing the veil.